Hello, my name is Courtney Taylor, and I am pursuing a master's degree in school library media and instructional technology. I'm going to review my instructional technology portfolio, which includes 8 standards and artifacts that showcase my ability in each of them. Let's get started. Standard 1, Learner. This standard requires the educator to be a continual learner to advance student learning through technology. For this standard, I chose to highlight the interviews I conducted with each of the instructional technology specialists I shadowed this semester. I also included the narrative of the interviews in which I compared and contrasted them. Although each one was unique, they all had a common goal to support teachers and students with integrating technology, and I learned so much from their expertise. I also included my personal learning network and an article critique. These artifacts show my willingness to be a constant learner and gain important information from those around me and through research. Standard 2, Leader. This standard states that educators seek out ways that they can be a leader to support student achievement. The artifacts I chose to include for this standard begins with many lessons that I hosted in the Media Center for teachers and students to teach them how to properly care for their devices. It was an opportunity for me to bring classes into the Media Center and to show teachers my ability and desire to collaborate with them in the future. I also included the online professional development on Canva that I led. This provided teachers with an opportunity to learn a new technology tool and to improve student learning in their classroom, and shows my ability to lead teachers in my building. My final artifact is an infographic that I used to advocate for services for myself and the Media Center. I was able to share this with my principal, our leadership team, and then at a staff meeting at the beginning of the school year. This allowed me to highlight my leadership within our school. Citizen. This standard is about showing students what it means to be a positive digital citizen. For this standard, I highlighted my social media accounts, which many students and teachers at my school follow. I use Twitter to share fun and engaging ideas for teachers to use technology effectively. I also have an Instagram and TikTok account for my school that allows me to model what positive online interactions look like for my students. I also included my morning show, The Ridge 411, as an artifact. This show allows me to collaborate with students to feature a daily live broadcast for our school and online community. I also included the Digital Citizenship Collaborative Unit, in which I co-taught a lesson for 5th graders on netiquette. This unit shows how I mentor students to be safe and responsible online and gives them the tools to be successful. My final artifact is a curation of ethical use resources that I have used in several lessons to help students understand how to safely and responsibly use information online. Standard 4, Collaborator. This standard requires that educators value collaboration with teachers and students. I chose to include a grant that I wrote with our kindergarten teachers, as well as a reading enrichment unit from a collaboration that I did with a 2nd grade class as artifacts. These artifacts showcase my eagerness to work alongside teachers to better support our students. The enrichment unit also allowed me to collaborate with students using technology tools in their classroom. Standard 5, Designer. This standard seeks that educators design engaging lessons that are authentic for their learners. I chose to include the instructional design unit as an artifact, as it highlights an in-depth design process where students are at the forefront. I also included a Symbaloo where I curated resources for students to use production tools. This artifact shows my ability to create authentic activities where students have choice and can adapt their learning experiences. My final artifact for this standard is a book trailer that I created to get students excited about reading. It was also a way to showcase some of the production resources that I used to my students. Standard 6, Facilitator. This standard requires educators to facilitate learning through the use of technology. The first artifact I chose to include is a lesson I taught recently on the design process. Students were actively engaged in the design process by completing different challenges to foster creativity. I also included my school media center website, where I host resources and information for students, teachers, and families to utilize. I also included the blog that I maintained throughout this practicum, which highlights different ways I facilitated learning within my school and district. These artifacts display my ability to create meaningful learning opportunities for my students to be designers, and where my students take ownership over their own learning. Standard 7, Analyst. This standard states that educators will use data to support their instruction. For artifacts, I chose several different technology evaluations and assessments that showcase my ability to review and analyze data to help support instruction in my school and district. The Technology Program Administrator specifically looks at my district and how technology supports student learning and achievement. All of these documents provide in-depth analysis of data with the common goal of student success. Standard 8, Coach. The final standard is about educators providing learning opportunities for teachers to better understand how to use technology effectively. My first artifact is a professional development on our learning management system, Canvas. My second artifact is another professional development on Goose Chase that I led at our district conference. These artifacts showcase my ability to coach teachers on technology tools for their students' success, as well as being able to evaluate my impact on their teaching. It also shows that I foster a learning community for teachers at my school and district where we can learn from each other. This concludes the overview of my practicum portfolio. Thank you so much for listening.